Hey YouTube, welcome to my shop. I appreciate you stopping by. The other day I was over at a friend's of mine and we were messing around in his wood shop and I got a chance to use his crosscut sled. I've never used a crosscut sled. I've basically been stuck to the table saw miter gauge, and then I got with all the other things in my shop, I got an Incra miter gauge that is beautiful. But still, there was something nice about that crosscut sled. I'd never used it, but it was just it was solid. It didn't slip around or anything, and you knew right where the blade was going to cut, and there was a lot of benefits to it. So, in all the equipment that I got these miter strips for the table saw. You can adjust the slop out of them. They fit real good, but you can adjust the slop out of them also. And they have screws through here. So the way I did this is I laid the miter strips in the slots on top of some washers to bring them up a little bit. Then I put my Bisameyer fence over here, and I knew it's perfect to the blade, and I just put a few dabs of what do you call it? Epoxy. Yeah, that's it. I put a few dabs of 5-minute epoxy, and then laid the board down on it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a small drill and drill right through the center of these holes, flip it over, get a larger drill, take out the wood down to the metal. This is aluminum, down to the aluminum, and then screw it in from the top. We'll see how that goes, and I'll let you know. Alrighty then, the miter sled strips have been screwed to the base of the sled with 1/4 inch 20 by 3/4 inch machine bolts with a tapered head. The top piece has been cut for the front brace that goes across the saw slit, and then the longer one is the back fence. There's a piece on the right hand side there that I'm going to cut a little blockhouse to go on the very back of the fence, just in case the blade comes a little too far in. There'll be some protection. So when I get that done, the next is sand the edges. Of course, I'll be using the spindle sander there on the right, and then I will use the router table to round off the edges, just smooth it down a little bit, and then a little more sanding, and I'll secure both pieces to the sled, put the block on, and straighten it up with my dial gauge. So let's get on to that, and we'll show you what the next step is. Alrighty then, I guess that does it. it's all put together. I put a quick coat of shellac on it, give it some stability from the moisture. I built this little block house in the back. I siliconed a clear piece of plexiglass on it, just so I can see down there. And as I say, the aluminum strips work beautiful. I mean, it just slides extremely easy. So I'm very happy about the smoothness of it. But even more than that, this is my Mitutoyo. Now I've put a little strip in the kerf, put the Mitutoyo up there, and I mean it is dead on. It is dead on accurate all the way around. So now the best way that to get a perfect 90 degrees, one way is with the 5-cut method. I did not use that. What I used was a gauge, and you can get down to the thousandths on these gauges. So what I did is I put my fence up here, made sure that was square. Then I put my Mitutoyo up there, and as I ran this back and forth, if it was off, that needle would wander. And then you just keep tightening it back and knocking it back and forth and stuff until that needle is dead on. Now, to test the accuracy of it, I did a five cut test. And what I used is about an 18.5-inch laminate, and I cut it square, and I cut 5 times around. Now the first cut's 18 inches, second 36, the fourth cut 72. So the fifth cut, it started at 72 inches and it ended at 90 inches. I used my digital caliper, and I measured this. The start of this cut was 0.152 of an inch. The finish of this cut was 0.154 of an inch. Oh man, that makes me real happy. I mean, it took a while. I had to do the fence a couple of times to get it right. It took a long time to square the blade with the miter slots, and then square the Bissemeyer fence, and it took time, but it's well worth it from 152 to 154. This is way beyond my skills. I mean, for me to see a 64th of an inch, I gotta have a magnifying glass. To see 2/1000ths of an inch, I'm gonna need a microscope. So the table and the sled is I'm very happy with. So I suggest anybody, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So I suggest if you have a table saw in your shop, you might want to consider a sled. I already like it a lot. So that's it. Till next time, YouTube. I appreciate you stopping by very much. So you take care, and until next time.